minute 32 of I Love You 3000 Minutes. I'm Brian.
I'm Richard.
And this is the podcast where we time traveled back in time. You know, only one of two ways you could have time traveled, I guess. To rewatch the entire I was just laughing seeing you look at me. Just like, what the fuck is he doing now? To rewatch the entire Infinity Saga from Iron Man 1 to Spider-Man Far From Home and watch it one marvelous minute at a time. Are you proud of me now, Dad?
Hell no.
Sounds like my dad. What happened in this minute, Richard?
Well, he's putting Nicole closer to his face. I'm not sure exactly what Jensen's saying. You were saying we know what they're saying. But
he said we're building the Jericho.
Yes, okay.
So that's what it's essentially. What are you doing? Building Jericho. What are you doing? Building Jericho. What are you doing? Building the Jericho. And then interruption.
And then Stark saves him, says, "Hey, I need him. You know, we're not going to."
Good assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy says, "Fine, you have until tomorrow." So
to assemble my missile.
Leaves the coal like an inch from the dude's face to remind him, like, yeah, you don't want this in your person. Stark gets back to work. He makes, I think, the faceplate, hitting it on the anvil, cools it, picks it up. I'm gonna be honest. If I were to look at the camera, if I were the big bad guy, I were to look at the camera and it still doesn't look like they're making a missile, they're done. So
just right back in.
Yeah, just like, yep, they're not doing
sense.
Yeah. But this guy might not be as smart.
I mean, he was clever enough to catch them. No one else was really catching them. They were kind of being a little suspicious, but I noticed a couple things while we were watching. One, they have a lot more than 8 men. Because if that one guy right there at minute 10 in the front is one of the people holding Jensen, then we have then assume 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I said 8 the first time, right?
I guess, yeah.
So at least 10, if not more, that are out of frame. And man, they are quick to point those guns. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. At least 11. Possibly 12, because I think there was a gunman off to the side out of frame, not including Boss of Bosses. So we get that. Let me see. How many people have scarves? I'm just kidding.
I feel like if I was the guy in the back of that mob of people, I'd be like, am I actually helping in this situation? Yeah. I think they've got it. Like,
yeah, he leaves it right there. I did notice one thing. Around the 22-second mark when he drops the coal, and then we go to his, you have 24 hours to assemble my missile. He has the light that's at the front door and the doors behind him, but then we cut to him walking away and throwing it off. So in reality, if they had kept it how they shot it, he would have dropped it, he would have walked away at around 29 seconds and thrown it down, and then set his line at around 25 seconds.
You caught it.
The
lighting is wrong.
The only good thing I've ever caught, because all the others were STIs. Don't believe that more because I said STI and that seemed more informed.
You have multiple Subaru STI cars. That's what you have.
I mean, you're trying to convince them I know more about cars.
What's the I?
I don't know.
Sexually
transmitted infection.
I
think. I don't know. Maybe me fucking that up will make you believe that.
Why would Subaru name their car the STI then?
I mean, I would hope that was before STI replaced STD.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, and then there was something else. One, the thing that he is on is not the same anvil I was talking about, because that's teeny tiny. There is a hammer next to it, so it made me think of it at 29 seconds, or, wherever you see Jensen, his head down, because this was what I was talking about in the last minute. This just glory shot at around 34 seconds, where he's dink, 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 which, fun fact, the noise you hear at the end of Endgame when there's no post-credit scene, that's that audio. That was their version of a post-credit scene, since there's nothing you can really put after the credits of Endgame.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Like, it's kind of like a keep working vibe, Yeah, keep hammering away.
Like hearkening back to the beginning of Iron Man, now that we've come full circle and he's, bye-bye, snapped himself out of life.
That's one way to put it. Sure.
But I do like this whole reveal of the first mask and also how they use it later. But let me ask you, what do you think this table is made of at the end of the minute?
Wood.
Alright, so then this noise, when he puts it down,
It's the
exactly
mask.
The same metal noise as him hitting it with a metal mallet. I thought it was wood too.
It's the mask. We'll just say that. It's the mask.
Look, they did such a good job. It's okay that they messed up a couple things. I mean,
such as lighting continuity.
I mean,
God.
the
What amateurs.
All right, that edit that I caught in the earlier of this is just for flow. I get it. You figure out it doesn't flow as well.
You got the close-up of the villain.
Yeah, close-up is like even in the Star Trek reboot in 2009 that came out a year after this, they had a shot close-up on Eric Bana's Nero that was actually from a cut scene where they break out of a what's the normal race of villains in Star Trek?
The Borg?
Not the Borg. There's something else.
Not the Klingons.
Yes.
Right? Oh, okay.
They're breaking out of a Klingon prison, and it's a close-up. And since the scene was cut and they didn't have a more personal shot for later, they used that and just dubbed over some dialogue to give him a personal moment. So, there's all the ways those kind of tricks if it's not flowing so well in the edit. But this one with them making that really loud metal-on-metal sound, it's forgivable. Not great, but forgivable. Man, right near the end at 58 seconds with him coming out of the shadows. Isn't that just the sexiest Tony Stark? I mean, come on. That's a beefcake. That should be a poster. Just black sleeveless tee, all sweaty and dirty, and he's just been making his Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there's a reason Channing Tatum has a career.
Mm-hmm.
Besides talent, because he's my favorite actor.
Is he really?
Yeah, I like him. Man, I know that the Gambit movie is officially canceled, but I want him to be Gambit. I just want it. I want it so bad. I mean, let me put it this way. The first thing I ever saw him in was Step Up, which could have just been a career end. Not because Step Up's bad, but it was solid. But that usually doesn't launch a career. But then he goes on to do like 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street. He does G.I. Joe, which is fine. Magic Mike, which with, Steven Soderbergh, who did the Ocean's 11 trilogy. And then he goes and does a movie with Tarantino, and he does Haywire, also with Steven Soderbergh. He's killing it, man. And Magic Mike was autobiographical, and he co-wrote the sequel, and, I dig it. I dig the range. And I really wanted him to be Gambit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We got Jensen soldering wires. That's the word, right?
Yep. That's
soldering something.
A huge set of wires, probably going to come together into a harness type of thing. If you don't know, a harness is like a bunch of wires kind of put together with something. Yeah,
we got kind of a frame there.
Real harnessy and sort of a frame.
Man, so there's a lot of candles now.
They're trying to put it together right now as fast as possible. So.
Oh yeah. Oh man, even this backlight of 53. Never mind, this might be the most beefcake moment. I like one detail at the 45th and 46th second mark. He hits the mask and then the flames in the background spark up for no good reason, but it helps the effect.
I've seen that in movies a lot. I've never fired anything and hit them with hammers after they were, fired.
I'm just saying this fire is like 5-10 feet back, but it flames up out of nowhere just to accentuate that hit.
Zoom out, hit play.
Because also see over here,
it
fire's all the way over there.
It embers up.
Yeah, it's subtle, but I like that little extra. We see in the back of 35 seconds one of those hollow missiles that he took the palladium out of. All right, cool beans. You got anything else for minute 32?
Nope, don't think so.
That was it. Follow along on the minutes on Instagram. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe and check out the Other Minute podcast. And if you're listening on audio, please leave a rating or a review. It doesn't need to be 5 stars. I'd like it if you really think that, but whatever you think's honest.
I'm Richard.
I'm Brian.
You got an army?
We've got a podcast. I was this close to saying Hulk.